Along with my chairman, along with Ofowe.
Some of Nigeria's brightest minds coming together to discuss the way forward for the country. The Aige Foundation is spearheading this confab, which has former President Olusegun Obasanjo overseeing the brainstorming session as chairman.
On one occasion, I took about 40 upcoming African young leaders to Singapore when Lee Kuan Yew was still alive, and they were all anxious to get the recipe, to get the magic. And at the end of it, he said, "There's no magic." They asked him, he said, "There's no magic. We did a few things right, and we continue to do them right. No magic."
Economist and professor of economic policy, Stefan Dercon, is a guest speaker. He dissects the country's potential vis-a-vis its performance in comparison with other nations of the world, particularly those it was on the same pedestal with in the past.
And we look around, for example, in South Asia, where after 2000, extreme poverty in South Asia began to decline as well, in countries like India, but also in Bangladesh, even in Nepal and places like that. And we see that these things are beginning to come down. And then we come to a kind of a situation where we are today, where 90% of the extreme poor people live in Africa. 90% of the extreme poor people live in sub-Saharan Africa, about 450 million. In fact, there are more extreme poor people now in sub-Saharan Africa than there were in 1990.
Professor Dercon explores why some countries have managed to settle on elite bargains favoring growth and development, and others, like Nigeria, have not. His suggested solutions include elite and development bargain, adaptation and not adoption of what works elsewhere, quality leadership, as well as self-awareness of how a state functions.
The recipe wasn't perfect. The recipe in each of these countries, we look at it, they make errors, they make things and whatever. The ingredients were right, okay? But the recipe wasn't. And I think to get progress, it's not the issue of being lectured exactly about what to do and the exact small detail, the blueprint that needs to be designed. Actually, the experience tells us that quite a lot of different things, different strategies can actually get you progress.
Chairman of this gathering, former President Olusegun Obasanjo underscores the significance of the contribution of elite, whom he maintains determines the progress or otherwise of any country.
I believe three most important things that we need to get it right, that we don't seem to have, apart from leadership, is some focal point, something that we can all hold on to.
The presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, shares his takeaway from this interaction.
So today, if anybody is going to serve here, you have to have an all-inclusive government. Everybody has to be involved. In democracy, you govern by consensus. What you need in this country is to secure and unite the country. Bring everybody to the table with a sense of purpose that we are Nigerians. And what we are going through concerns all of us. All of us have to work together.
The brain behind this conference, Mr. Aige promises that the conversation will not end in this hall, but will continue until it backs development.
Let's just keep moving forward consistently. So that's what we've been talking about. It was a dialogue. We go to Abuja, we continue our dialogue with senior public servants, and we will continue this dialogue, and hopefully maybe one day when you interact with me like this, I will tell you that that dialogue, somehow catalyze a process.
The central theme of this conversation is the need for continuity, and of course one not blindly done. Leadership, accountability and unity of purpose are others. So while it winds down here, this convergence is expected to spark up discussion towards nation building and not to be the end of it. Timothy Crown, Aderbibe, Channels Television News.